Todd at Moonlight Studios. How you doing? I am working on it. The the babe. Kind of working out the gestures first. Louis Maldonado. I am drawing a female figure. Oh, Ferguson. Todd Ferguson? Well, how you doing, man? That drawing, like I said, was really, really cool. I like it a lot. I appreciate your um, help. You know, figuring out the compositional stuff, and you know, I ain't perfect, but I'm just trying to do the best I can, and there's always room to grow. And I appreciate you taking that time, and then taking the time to draw the character too. That was a lot of fun. Well, thanks, Todd. Nathan Macho, ayo. So, Todd, what do you do in terms of art? I mean, um, do you make your own stuff, or do you what do you do with your art? Because you're obviously super talented. Um, I feel like you're a name that I should know. Today. Oh, okay. Todd. Yeah, okay. I do think I remember whether you said that to me or I think you did. Where you went to Joe Cooper School back in '95 to '98. But you're losing your eyesight to diabetes. Well, shit. I am sorry to hear that, man. That's got to be rough. Um, but you're trying to. So you went on a drawing lapse of 15 years. Well, you certainly got a lot of skills there, for sure, my dude. Trying to bring your comic back from then to modern times. I mean, I'm a big advocate. I say all the time, like, anyone who can, make the thing while you can, when you can. Yeah, as an artist, it sucked. Man, I don't even know what I could say to that. Like, that would be, yeah, to an artist. Ginger Bear, what's up, my dude? Um, yeah, yeah, to make the thing for sure. But yeah, I really like that compositional thing that you sent me with here, try this type of stuff. You definitely have a fantastic eye for the composition, and everything you kind of showed me was I'm like, yeah, that's everything you pointed out was better. So I was like, well. Oh, yeah, you have to be able to zoom in. That sucks. When you say you're losing your eyesight, do you mean just clarity of eyesight, or like is? I mean, you're not gonna like lose everything. I'm hoping is what you're. I hope you're not saying that. That'd be rough. Patrick Pierce, hello. Yeah, Ginger Bear over there, he's got an awesome comic series that he's working on. You know, when his job will loosen its death grip from his throat, he's going to be getting back to it, and I can't wait to see it. Panda, what's up? Drawing a hottie, yes. You Can Glory says no, bro. Okay, I don't know what that means. Todd, doctor said you have 3 years, and that was a year ago. You're on a bunch of eye drops and have laser shot. Man. Well, I hope you beat the odds, my dude. All right, Ginger Bear. Well, I hope you get a break, and hope you survive until you get through to, what was it you said, September, when your job will relax you from your crazy mandatory overtime bullshit. Todd, are you asking, like, where do I, like, live? Like, in the country? I'm in northern Utah. What time is it in New York? Yeah, it's only 10:30 here. Yeah, I find that obviously most of the kind of work, art, I think most artists are like this, usually, kind of late into the night kind of stuff. That's my preferred kind of time frame. And this is the start of my weekend, obviously, like everyone else. I came home from work and just kind of went straight to bed, just kind of napped for a little bit, just kind of recovering from a hard day. And I'm like, well, I'm going to stay up late. So, hell with it. Why not? Steel, traditional art. Why do I feel like it's been a minute, man, since we've chit chatted? How are you? Christian, you're up drawing. You're in New York also. See, there we go. I'm scouting some reference for what I'm doing here, so. Pandas burning that midnight oil. I mean, why not, right? Now comes the important part, is just how big and round do you make the comic book girl's chest? And then the answer always ends up being inevitably, is there such a thing as too big? Steel Tradition Art, 4 months, 2 weeks, and 12 days to be exact. Really? How do you know that to be so precisely? Or do I want to know? Mauricio. Sometimes you make them smaller or go the opposite and surprise yourself or go realistic like. Yeah, those are all good ideas. But on the flip side, big boobs. I'm a perpetual 12-year-old child. Christian, Westchester, isn't that where the X-Men are? Can you drive over to the school for gifted youngsters and go say hi to Rogue for me? Darkomancer, think Power Girl. Christian, she's getting me a beer. Hell yeah. Aww. Alright, well, that's fair. I snoozed and I loosed. Not gonna lie, nicely drawn racks and comics still do it for me. I mean, right? I mean, these are comics. These aren't like a slice of life thing, which there's comics out there that are like that, but when I read superhero comics or adventure comics, or just, I mean, like, I don't know how else to put it. I want to see, like, hot people. I want to see big, muscular, handsome guys, or ugly, monstrous guys. I don't freaking care. And evil villains, and, you know, there's that Frank Miller interview where he's like, who wants to read a comic book about superheroes that just look like us? I'm like, you know what? Good point. Make them hot. It's all good. She swings. Or at least we assume she does. She touches us and we lose our consciousness. And she's like, yeah, sugar, we had a great time. Don't you remember? Like, yeah, I totally remember, right? She's like, uh-huh. Meanwhile. Found that boring about the early 2000s. Started downplaying that stuff. Terry Moore said he'd rather draw pretty girls and get them perfect than drawing Batman's ass for 20 years. You know what? That's that's solid advice. Solid approach. Steel traditional art. You like how I drew her torso? Well, thanks. I'm kind of Frankensteining this. I have like a picture. I mean, there's this. Well, I was gonna say there's this hot girl on Instagram. There's multiple hot girls on Instagram, but there's this one chick that I found that has like the most perfect hip, tummy, thigh area that I've ever seen in my life, and she's just like this unbelievable goddess. And so I'm kind of got that picture. I'm kind of referencing her lower half, and then her upper half I'm kind of filling it in myself, trying to give her a powerful stance, trying to make her look Mark Silvestri type hot. Something like that. Don't hold out on us. No, she's my girlfriend. You guys can't go follow her. She's from overseas somewhere. Her name is, her Instagram name is tran.vanova. And so people see that and go, it's trans. She's transgender. It's a dude. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Her name is Denisa Tranvanova. It's her name. But let me find like this muscle babe. Like, shut that down. I don't know. There's just something about her whole like stomach, hip, tummy area that Angels of the Renaissance. I'm just showing Instagram hotties that I use for reference. Specifically, this one I'm doing right now. Looking for the one that I'm using, right? Like this right here is kind of the picture I'm referencing for her lower torso. Right there. But, it's all good. That tiny waist and that tummy and those hips and those thighs, and good lord. Anyway. Yeah. She's like got comic book body proportions minus the small boobs, which I honestly don't care about, but yeah, she's got a very narrow waist. Good genetics for bodybuilding, and yeah, exactly. That gives her that like that hourglass figure, so a very tiny waist. Yeah, dark romancer, perfect waist to hip ratio could make or break a hot female drawing. Exactly. We always exaggerate it, making it smaller than it needs to be, but I'm not drawing photorealism here. Yeah, you can never have too much reference. Exactly. That's how you learn, right? Ryan Gracie, how do you figure out how to connect the rib cage area to the waist hips area? Good question. Not that I'm one that should be giving art lessons, but I'm looking for a piece of paper. Fuck it. I'll just use this. So, Ryan, I mean, it's honestly the short answer is just draw. Go ahead and draw from life. Look at real human figures and just start drawing them. If you're looking to draw women, go look up images of, you can find a billion hot girls in swimsuits on Instagram. But for me, I would start with that upper torso and kind of build it as a rib cage, kind of like this. And then you've got the lower torso, the hip area. And then there's kind of like a round circular object that they kind of pivot on. And kind of the different way that you position the upper torso and the lower kind of hip area kind of helps the dynamic action of your figure. But it's honestly, the only thing I can say is, like, you just start drawing real human figures and you'll start piecing it together. It'll just happen, but it's through repetition and just continuous human figure drawing. If you like art and you want to be an artist and you pay attention to all the other artists in the world out there, especially the best ones, you'll see that they're never not drawing and they're never not studying the human figure. It's just always happening. So you just start figuring it out. And I don't know if this is answering your question in any way, shape, or form, but like I started learning from the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, and they always talked about start with like a simple stick figure with the head, and then just a loose gestural drawing of kind of how you want your figure to be posed. Figure out the dynamics of the pose and how you want that to look, and then you start filling in with like cylindrical shapes and round bubbly shapes to kind of start filling in the mass of a figure. But honestly, none of this stuff here will help you if you don't study a real human figure and learn how to do it on your own, like understanding the human anatomy. And once you start learning the human anatomy, then you can start doing your own stick figure drawings and figuring out how to pose them. And then you can start filling in the anatomy. You have to learn the anatomy first, and then you can start creating your own from scratch once you learn the anatomy. I'm just throwing down random like little scribbly stick figures here. Like here's a tough guy superhero pose. He's flexing and buckled down. Yeah, pray to the art gods twice a day. That's true too. So it's just practice, my man. Just practice, practice. Just keep drawing. Again, just go on Instagram and find a reference for any damn thing you want and just start filling up sketchbooks with rough figure drawings. It doesn't have to be a finished drawing. In fact, I advocate quite strongly for be very fast and very loose and very rough. Don't worry about a finished drawing when you're sketching. Just keep it rough. Just get the gesture of the reference that you're doing. You know, get the basic shapes in there, figure out where the torso goes and the abs and then the butt and the legs, and then just start piecing it together. And then once you get the rough sketch done, then you can kind of take that sketch and turn it into a final drawing. But just practice. And practice from life. Don't learn how to draw the human figure from anime. Not that there's anything wrong with anime, but those guys, those masters, learn from life, and then they learn how to change it and distort it and alter it once they master it. Or there's no such thing as mastering, like you're done. Like, I know it flawlessly, I don't have to learn anymore, but once you reach a level where you can kind of just do it on your own, believably enough, then you can kind of start pushing the boundaries of a style. Yeah, there's Todd saying, look at athletes, dancers, things like that for movement. Don't just get hot influencers. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, don't just, have people that are just standing there looking hot. Like, look at a dancer leaping through the air. Look at a basketball player jumping to, slam a dunk, something. People in motion. You could look at images of swimmers underwater. Yeah, Todd's got it exactly correct. You're wondering why or how to draw comics the Marvel way characters were off? Yeah, it's just repetition, my man, and then look at the real human bodies. It'll start piecing itself together, but depending on who you are and what your art level is, right, like internally, it could happen fast, or it could take you forever to start getting something that you feel like is decent, Everyone's different. Yeah, Pinterest is great for reference. Dark Omance, you always loved the way the Street Fighter character art was drawn. It's stylized, but the anatomy was still on point. Yeah, I agree. It's nice to see that my video yesterday on Battlestar Galactica, the comic book, is actually kind of doing well in terms of views. I didn't know if people would give a shit about that one, but seems like it's going over well. This reminds you of the Phoenix Force Emma Frost. This is, if you guys saw the video I did about, I don't know, a week ago of Mitch's Blood Force comic. I've wanted to draw his characters ever since I did that video. So that's kind of what I'm doing. This is his, well, honestly, the one female character he has in the book. But I wasn't joking in that video when I was saying that Blood Force is one of my favorite comics ever. And he's got interesting characters. Like, I've wanted to draw these characters, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and do a thing. I know, Panda. I've got so much. I've actually wondered if, like, am I throwing too much out there? But if I'm being honest, it's now that I've been monetized for the last year and a half or whatever, and it's making me a little bit of money. Not a lot, believe me. But I'm in a place right now where every little bit helps. Believe me, I need it because I've had some big financial burdens the last couple of months, and YouTube is throwing me a few bones, and so I'm like, there was a time when I kind of thought about slowing it down, but I'm like, if I do, that ad revenue goes down and I lose money, and so I'm like, and I am trying to grow it, and it'd be nice to get it big enough to where it becomes, I mean, obviously, the bigger the audience, the bigger the kind of like ad revenue payout to me. And I'm not trying to make it sound like money's the goal, but for God's sakes, we all need money, right? And I've found a kind of a little unintentional side gig that's started to produce a little, and if I handle it right, maybe I could make it into something more than it is now. But the byproduct of that is it does feel like a second job, and I don't mean that like it's a burden, but sometimes it's like, I gotta go record shit. I gotta have content. But, yeah, I kind of, and there's a little bit of pride now that I got going, that I've maintained this level, and I want to keep it up. So I'm kind of like, I haven't missed a day since I started. So I'm like, I'm not going to break that. And if I ever do break my stride, it's because something either amazing happened or something horrible has happened. So you'll know. Steal traditional art. I don't know, man. Your nerd card's a little bit diminished if you haven't seen any of those. Dark Omancer from the little you saw, he's a really good artist too. If you're talking about Mitch, for sure. Yeah. Panda, it's better to have plenty of content than not enough. What was the one, Scott McCloud? Oh, was that giant book that I never finished doing a video on, The Sculptor? That's such a good book, but it's so big, it's hard to summarize it. I actually need to get back to that. Yeah, Dark Romancer, Money Helps. It is. Like, again, I didn't start this with the idea of making money at it. I was like, there's no way. No one's going to give a shit about what I do. Why would anybody care? But for some reason under the sun, it's working a little bit. So, I'm like, oh, a little validation. So now I just keep going. Sorry, I'm doing the flip. You know, when you take your art and flip it upside down. I'm looking at it through the just holding it up to the light to see the reverse of it, and I'm not hating it. So I think it's going on. Yeah, Todd, you could say we knew me when. I just feel like if I had an investment in some software and some tools to like make videos a little bit more interesting rather than just turning the camera on and yapping, you know, like putting in some editing, and because I feel like I've got some funny ideas. I'm like, oh, it would be funny to do this or that or that or this and make like entertaining content. You know, I think I'm occasionally coming up with funny ideas, but I don't know, maybe I'm not. But it's just so hard to find the time. I need to find somebody who does video editing who might be willing to kind of like help me grow the channel and help me with some editing, but I can't pay them until we actually make content and it starts potentially generating revenue on its own. So I'm gonna have to start branching out and seeing if I can find somebody who does that and might be interested in helping me grow. I feel like I've got an opportunity. I just need to capitalize on it a little better. Todd, you know what? You and I are exactly the same. I've seen some channels where I turn it on. I'm like, okay, the thumbnail and the subject matter looked interesting. But then 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes into it, we still haven't even got to the subject. There's music and there's editing and there's all these video clips. I'm like, and I shut it off and I never go back. That is one of the things I intentionally want to do on my stuff is keep it like you turn it on and we go. I have one idea it's me ripping off another guy who did a thing. I could show you, but like he starts out his videos, he's like, "Welcome to my channel," and then it jumps to a scene of like the guy and a title card that says the name of his channel, but it's literally for like not even a second. He's like, "Welcome to my channel," and it goes bump bump it up, and it's right back to the video. Like it's just instant, and I kind of find it funny because you know, like, hey, here's a whole title card and music, and it's like 1 second at most, and it's kind of clever. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of what I want to do, just something. But yeah, the point is to get right into the meat of the content. Let's start talking. Let's not sit here and waste people's damn time with nonsensical editing cleverness. Lewis Cool Gamer, what's up? Yeah, like useless, never-ending trailers at the theater. For real, my dude. I used to be really concerned about getting to the theater. Like the movie starts, it says it starts at 4:30. We got to be there at 4 to get in line to get our popcorn and to find our seats and get settled. But then the movie starts. Yeah, it's 4:30. No, it's trailers for half an hour, and at 5 o'clock, fucking the movie's finally starting. So it's like, I've taken my kids to a movie or two here and there, and like, Dad, we're gonna be late. I'm like, trust me, we're not. They're going to be showing. And I used to be all about the movie trailers. Um, but when there's half an hour of them, fuck that. I've had enough of that. I'm missing out on the fun of making wacky thumbnail faces for your videos and have capitalized words to really express it. Destroying lipo. Yeah, I don't know. What do I do? Either way, nothing's changing anytime soon, because I can only do what I've been doing. And that's not going to change anytime soon. Panda, yeah, you used to be able to catch a movie on a whim. Now you have to plan your entire day around it. Yeah. And again, I'm not even worried about a long movie, just depending on what it is. If it's good, I'm fine with it. Um, but yeah, sometimes you're like, I'm just going to go catch a flick. Stop in and go watch Die Hard, for example. Which, isn't it kind of shitty what's happened to Bruce Willis? Like how he's, like, just losing his mental faculties. That's kind of unfortunate. Is this girl's upper torso too long for her leg? Is the leg to torso distance okay? I always tend to accidentally give my girl figures a very long torso, and it's not intentional, but for God's sakes, I seem to do it all the time. Yeah, Todd, dude, believe me, I've been noticing that. Like, I'm 48, almost 49, and so everything, like you just said, that we grow up with is dying or getting sick, or yeah, it sucks. And I'm I don't know if Bruce Willis was ever necessarily the greatest human being on the planet, but I don't seem to remember him ever being involved in any kind of real big scandals. And I'll take that as a win for him, you know. But roughly there at the head count. Bruce Willis has done some of the most, like, when I think of Bruce Willis, I think Die Hard and The Fifth Element, Pulp Fiction. I as a kid, like my parents would watch Moonlighting, but it wasn't anything that I was like. Todd, it took me half a second to be like, "What are you talking about?" Uh, yeah, he hates something in particular. Oh, he's like, "Don't worry, I got a gun," and Zeus was like, "They got 10 guns." Unbreakable, yes, Unbreakable, fantastic movie. Yeah, Dark Romancer, Christina Applegate and Tim Curry in a wheelchair. It's funny you guys mentioned these names. Um, Unbreakable. I actually just watched Signs, the M. Night Shyamalan movie with Mel Gibson, for the first time in years. I've always thought that was a brilliant movie, and man, it just keeps cementing itself as like, that might be my favorite movie by M. Night, which, he's only done like 3 good ones anyway. But that or Unbreakable are my favorite movies from him. They're so good. I like the I See Dead People movie, whatever the fuck that's called. I like it, but it doesn't like, I didn't quite attach to it that hard. But yeah, Tim Curry, I'm actually surprised he's still alive. I was just watching Clue like yesterday or the day before, and Tim Curry's another one of those guys where you just like, you see him and you just kind of like the guy. And just to see them getting old and decrepit and age and just, it sucks, Tim Curry's favorite role for me, it might be the role of Darkness in Legend, where he played the giant like demon. What a role that was. How like you my gifts? Does the gown not please you? Yeah, Panda, we were talking about that. Yeah, Todd, at least Captain Kirk is still out there being the captain. Um, yeah, Shatner and he's like 90 something, right? And he seems pretty vital and vibrant so far still. I love me some Star Trek, the good Star Trek. Yeah, Dark. He's the freaking Darkness from Legend. That makeup, that outfit, that voice. We are already one. The last unicorn dies tonight. Shatner will outlive them all. I actually haven't seen George Lucas recently. That's another kind of like iconic thing from childhood. It's just like back in the day when movies were a little bit more infrequent and special, it was like George Lucas makes the magic. Steven Spielberg makes the magic in everything that they do, roughly speaking, although George was very limited. But it's like, it's just so great. I can't wait to see, the new Indiana Jones movie or the Close Encounters. or just any number of these amazing movies that these guys made. It's like, who does that anymore? The only filmmakers, it seems like to me, that are still around that like make shockingly big event movies are Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, the guy who does Dune, and Tarantino. Like, when was the last time he made something that sucked? Everything he's done has been amazing, but I think he's getting ready to quit forever. Yeah, quality over quantity, for real. Wesley, what's up, my dude? Wesley, not my character. This is someone else's, but thank you, sir. Yeah, Nolan's The Odyssey. I hope so. I saw the one trailer for it, and I gotta be honest, I wasn't like specifically, particularly like oh my god, I can't wait. But he's done so many. Even when Nolan kind of like fumbles and it doesn't work. What was that one he did recently with like the main character didn't even have a name and they like went backwards in time in with their actions, whatever the fuck that movie was. Like, I saw it in the theater and I was like, well, I don't ever need to watch that again, but there was enough interesting stuff in it that made me go, that was actually kind of interesting, even though, unlike Interstellar, I could watch anytime, or those Batman movies I can watch anytime. um, Even when it's not a complete win, it's still interesting. Tenet, yeah, yeah, there you go. And then again, the guy who made Dune, like, holy crap, that Dune was like the first one especially. I was like, this is exactly the kind of movie that I have been dying for. Like, this is everything that I want to see. Yeah, no, Panda, for real. What the hell? Yeah, I remember coming out of it going, I don't think I understood. And that's one of my problems with it, is like it's unnecessarily overcomplicated. It doesn't need to be that fucking ridiculous. And that's one of those, like, it kind of ruined it. The only reason I'd want to watch it again is for some of those crazy visuals and the action scenes, but no desire. Um, yeah, Dune 3 they're making. I think I read that the director didn't have any plans to go farther than Dune 3, which is kind of unfortunate, but, these things take up big chunks of their lives. Dark Omancer. Yes, James Cameron, I say this all the time. I'm so pissed that he's stuck on Thundercat Smurf Island. Um, like, I love the first Avatar. I watched it several times, and seeing it in the theater in 3D was probably the most visually stunning movie experience I've ever had. Um, and I thought the story was kind of fine. I mean, it's just dances with wolves in space. That's fine. But the sequel, um, again, visually incredible, and I enjoyed it. But I watched it once in the theater, and then I think once at home, and then I've never thought about watching it again. not seriously. Whereas the first one, I watched it many times. Even my ex-wife liked it. She's like, we should watch Avatar. I like that show. I'm like, all right. But that seems like that's all James Cameron is doing. I just wish he would just stop Thundercat Smurf Island and come back and just make an original action movie like Aliens or The Abyss or The Terminator or True Lies, and show these directors what a real action movie is supposed to be like. Quit making these blue CGI kitty cat movies. Like, I have no interest to see 4 more of these fucking things. Like, who cares? But when both of them have made billion something dollars, multiple billions. You know what, Wesley? I completely forgot there was even a TV show. I didn't even occur to me until you just mentioned it. I remember hearing about it, but I completely forgot. Yeah, 2 billion. And you know, credit. When did James Cameron release Avatar 2? That was what, 2 years or 3 years ago? Like, that was a hard market to put shit out in, and he did it, and it worked. You know? That just fuels his, like, I don't know, his, I don't want to say ego, but like, I'm gonna keep making these shits because they sell. I'm like, alright. Just, and yes, I'll probably be day 1 of Avatar 3 when it comes out. I'm curious. But when they're just like a one-time viewing, I'm like, okay, that was some amazing visuals. Awesome. But then I don't ever need to watch it again. It's kind of, you know, I remember coming out of the first Avengers movie by Joss Whedon going, that was like the greatest movie I've ever seen. It had such perfect build-up with the other 3 movies of Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and then all these other characters introduced. And I'm like, I cannot wait to watch Avengers again. And I've watched it. It's still probably my favorite Marvel movies, that original Avengers. It's so good. And there's only been 2 movies in the last several years that have made me go, I want to watch it again instantly. And that's Dune, the first one only, and Top Gun Maverick. I saw fucking Top Gun Maverick 3 times in the theater. I don't ever do that with anything. But that movie was so fun. I went by myself on day 1, and then I took my roommate a couple days later, and then I took a girl on a date a couple days later after that. And it's never gotten old. I love that Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, Dark Avengers 1 should not have worked, but that's the way. Yeah, I was like, I like Joss Whedon. I love Firefly. I watched almost all of Buffy. I missed the first like 2 or 3 seasons, but I watched it from then to the end. I watched all of Angel. I'm like, I like Joss Whedon, but who the fuck hands him the keys to this massive franchise? What movie has he ever made work? I'm like, this is where they're gonna fuck it up. And he made like the perfect superhero movie in every way with that Avengers. I was like, oh my god, that's all right. You got me. Yeah, Wesley Maverick is badass. And already you watched Jurassic World Afterbirth? I haven't watched that because I'm so done with Jurassic Park. I mean, I want to see it, but I'm not going to pay movie theater prices to go see it. Oh, hell no. But, like, how many times can we watch humans run from dinosaurs and go, oh no, what have we done? Apparently a lot. Because didn't Afterbirth make a whole bunch of cash? I watched the first one of the new ones with Chris Pratt, and I thought that was like fun enough. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. It was fine. And then I saw the second one with Chris Pratt once, and I never bothered with the third one. I'm like, no, don't care. Done, fucking done. And then I hear people say, like, it wasn't even about the dinosaurs, it was about a bunch of bugs. I'm like, well, why the fuck would I care about that? Yeah, this one was pretty good, you say, ready? I mean, again, as soon as it's streaming somewhere, I'll watch it. But considering movie theater prices, it is not cheap. So if I ain't getting a blowjob in the theater from some date or something like that, or taking my boys to go see something, I better be personally really into it to go see. Anybody else get movie theater beach? That shit's pretty fun. F1, Formula One, the race car movie with Brad Pitt. I've heard it's great. That one I want to see. I saw Fantastic Four. Nah. I enjoyed it. It kind of sucks that it's tanking off its ass. Like, it's not doing the success that Marvel needed. So that's 3 major failures for Marvel this year. Well, I mean, you are correct. Which is why it's only happened to me that one time. Me and this chick I was dating years ago, we went to go see this awful movie that she wanted to see. And we're sitting there watching, and it sucked. And I was like, speaking of, I was like, there's nobody in this theater. You know what you could do? She's like, oh my God, you're so gross. Why the fuck would I do that? Hell no. I'm like, all right, never mind. It's kind of just joking anyway. I just thought it'd be funny. And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, okay, move out of the way. And then I'm like, God damn it. Like fucking. Her principles held up for about 5 minutes, and then it was like, all right, here we go. It's like, what the fuck? Oh yeah, Penny, this didn't happen to me growing up. This happened to me when I was in my early 30s. So it's been a minute. But it certainly wasn't movie theater or anything. This was like grown-ass adults doing this shit. And again, I was joking. I mean, I was joking in as much as I didn't really expect, and I was just kind of like, nah, I'm just kidding. But it'd be funny. But that being said, if you want to, if you're feeling a little adventurous, and guess what? She was a little bit of a whore. Dark romance, you have superhero movie apathy. Kind of with me. But I'm all for that. If they just make a good one, I'm on board. But when was the last time there was a good superhero movie? Do I ever draw animals? I just drew a horse, just like learning anatomy all over again. Sometimes, not very often. But you are 100% correct. When you think you know how to draw and somebody says, draw a fucking horse or a gorilla, and you're like, I can't. Yeah, and I agree. I feel like Superman was well-intentioned, but man, so many people were coming out of there. Like, it was the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen. I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, I mean, okay, if you say so. Not trying to take anybody's joy from them. Yeah, Superman was another one where I was like, okay, it was cool. I saw it. Good job. I am not gonna come back and watch it anytime soon, if ever. Hope starts with an H, stupid. I don't know if any of you know those Batman parodies. Sorry. I laugh every time. Dark, you're okay with horses? Learn from Legend of Zelda. There you go. You like the color grading? You felt like it was more like a comic book out of all the comic book movies? I've never actually paid attention to that specifically. I just kind of watch it and go like, yeah, was it entertaining? Did I have fun? Yeah, great. No, maybe not. I haven't watched Peacemaker. I have like, I know I keep saying this, no real interest in it, but I mean it's the truth. I like John Cena though. Sorry, I'm continuing to look up reference. I wonder how Supergirl will do. You know, who knows, right? I guess it just all depends on how well it's put together. If the actress is charismatic and interesting in the role, um, who knows, right? It's another one I'm not like dying to see, but we will see. I want all these movies to be good. I'm not one of those guys that's like, fuck them, fuck Marvel, fuck Disney, fuck this, fuck that, fuck Warner Brothers. Like, I just want them to make good stuff. And it seems to be a real struggle. But it is even kind of wearing out the, the superhero fatigue is real. Jason Momoa as Lobo. I wonder what that'll be like. Is that a thing? Is that for real? I've heard people say it, but I didn't know if it was like a real thing. Oh, it is for real. Okay. I like Jason Momoa. I've never had a problem with him. He seems like a decent dude, and that's kind of hard to come by. He'll play Jason Momoa, right? And that may be the case, but some actors can get away with that. I mean, was Schwarzenegger ever really very different in all his roles? He just had a lot of charisma and a way of delivering lines and stuff that I think worked for him. But was Schwarzenegger really, that difference? The Rock, there you go, that's another example. I gotta say, that is one thing that I do miss from my childhood, talking about things that are not the same and are just gone. Is like, I like Schwarzenegger movies. They weren't always gold, you know, and his later ones started getting really shitty. But there was a time when just Schwarzenegger was just the badass of everything, and that first Conan movie, hell, even the second one, which is a little bit goofy, but he's entertaining as hell in them. The Terminator. And again, even in True Lies, Schwarzenegger kind of showed that he had some range by being kind of like just a domestic house, like a father and a husband, and Batman and Robin. Yeah, barf. It's kind of unbelievable how bad that crap got. Commando, yeah, there's like the most like quintessential like brainless Schwarzenegger movie with like cheesy as hell dialogue, paper thin script, and it's all hinging on his charisma and muscles and ability to like dispense destruction, and it just frickin' works. Predator, absolutely. Yeah, dude was straight up invincible in Commando. Let off some steam, Bennett. Hey, Sully, remember when I said I'd kill you last? Yeah, yeah. You said you'd kill me last. I lied. Drops him. Dylan, you son of a bitch. What's the matter? CIA got you pushing too many pencils? You never did know when to quit. What is this fucking tie business? Schwarzenegger. Good time. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired, right? The one-liners in that goddamn Commando. What's up, Ray Dillon, my dude? Ray, you can't join the chat unless you offer up some bullshit Schwarzenegger quote. That's a rule I just made up. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired. Oh, good stuff. Get to the chopper. Oh man, what to choose, right? So many. Stick around. It's pretty sophisticated for a bunch of half-assed mountain boys. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. When I was a kid, I saw that, and I was like, why? What the fuck was that? It wasn't until I got older that I saw kind of like how silly it is. To crush your enemies. Todd. Oh, Todd throws out the best and, of course, the worst. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. It was unbelievable how fucking stupid that Batman and Robin was. Like, how could anybody? How could anybody make that movie that stupid? And I know the director, what's his name? He's like, I just thought I was making what everybody wanted. The studio wanted this. They said this is what the audience wanted, so I just made what they wanted. And then it was like the worst thing ever in the universe. It's like he didn't get it. So I actually kind of don't blame the director. I kind of feel like Schumacher's a job for him. He's like, all right, this is what they want. I'll give them what they want. And then it didn't work. And he's like, well, what the fuck happened? Todd, when you say he made most of those quotes, are you talking like did Schwarzenegger write those lines or did Schumacher? You know what's funny, Todd, is I was just looking at the same thing going, these shoulder pads, like there's no way that they'd stay on her. But I'm like, I don't, yeah. Schwarzenegger. See, there's a problem when an actor gets so big that they kind of can demand to do whatever the hell they want. Because is Schumacher going to tell Schwarzenegger to shut the fuck up? No. And then it turns into this giant pile of crap. And you know what sucks is I feel like Clooney was actually a good choice for Batman. In a way. Like, he could have been really good in a good movie. But, that didn't happen. Yeah, Clooney could have been a good Batman. Yeah, he could play old Batman in a Batman. Yeah, I've seen people kind of mention that before. I'm like, that would be kind of awesome. Would it need to be the same continuity as the Batman and Robin version, or just pretend like that never happened and this is him doing it again? Um, but if they did it seriously, Todd, this is what got you out of superhero comics. I rationalize them. Why do they all have time to work out and get these bodies? You never see them take a shit. How do they afford all their gear? That is kind of sabotaging the enjoyment of the superhero comics, I will admit. Um, if you start trying to like figure out how they do this and why. But a lot of superhero comics do make it kind of hard to like them. It is easy to kind of be like, all right, I have officially seen everything because everything has been on repeat for years. What am I getting out of this shit that's new? Nothing. I need something else. I get that 100%. You know, Todd, I've only ever seen Batman versus Superman one time, and I've never seen the Justice League. I do like Affleck, um, so I can't speak on how much I like his version of Batman too much, but I do have to say it was cemented in my brain as awesome in the trailer and then in the movie, the Batman v Superman, where they cut to the scene of Superman fighting Zod and their eye beams are cutting the buildings down and there's absolute destruction everywhere. And then everyone's running away, but Affleck, Bruce Wayne, is running into the smoke, into the destruction to save lives. And that image, just like, oh man, somebody got that so correct. Like, I get why in that world Batman was pissed off at Superman. You guys just rip cities down at will and you don't even care. And the way he just charged in to save them, it's like, oh, that's one of the greatest superhero moments. Just that one scene of him charging into the rubble. So great. Wesley, did I watch the Flash movie? I did. And I didn't hate it. But I went into it expecting it to be absolutely awful. And it kind of was. But I found some enjoyable moments out of it, honestly. Somehow. Yeah, when he says, do you bleed? You will? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They got some of it correct. Very correct. I was honestly surprised Affleck took that role on after Daredevil being such a flop. I'm kind of neutral on the casting as far as the Flash, in as much as the actor being cast in that role. I kind of don't like the human being, the actor, but it was kind of fine. But I thought the effects of him running and being fast were pretty neat. But yeah, there was some really awful CGI. But I kind of can look past that. I was like, it doesn't have to be the greatest, but there definitely were some parts where it was like, okay, how did they let this pass? This was rough. This is. I mean, I was laughing, like, at the beginning when. I can't remember what the hell the situation was. When there's, like, is there a building falling and he's like saving babies by tucking them into microwaves and shit. I mean, like for a guy that moves at speed like that, that's something he would do. Like it protects them from falling debris while he zips around and does everything else. Then he catches the things, brings them down and opens them up. And I was like, that's fair. He runs like a dodo bird. I do have to say that Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, especially that first one, it kind of illustrated to me in a way that never was obvious to me before that the fast guy is potentially the most powerful guy. Like, that's kind of like unbeatable unless you're Apocalypse or some shit. You know, if you're like some kind of like space god. But just moving that fast, Wolverine could never stop that. Cyclops could never stop somebody moving at that speed. He would be undefeatable, basically speaking. So it just kind of made me think of, because speedsters are never the star of anything. Like, when is a speedster of the team, like, the star of the show? I mean, I think the Flash is, like, the most prominent fast character, obviously, but I'm like, oh, geez, these speedster guys would be just unstoppable. Yeah, speed is god tier power. Yeah. Yeah, when Superman side-eyes the Flash, that was interesting. Again, I haven't watched the Justice League, but I have watched clips of the fight. And yes, that is the only thing that could stop, you know, a speedster, is like another speedster and Superman just watching you and Flash being like, no one has ever done this to me. So now your one unbeatable advantage is gone. What do you do now, buddy? Like, what's your move now? Yeah, Wesley, you know what? Michael Keaton back. That was something I was profoundly interested in, because that 89 Batman, I was 12 years old, formative movie, right? And I'm like, Batman, Michael Keaton back? It did not feel like the same character at all. Again, I've only watched it the one time, and I might need to revisit it just to see. But no, that did not feel like the same Michael Keaton Batman. Completely different. And that was a problem. Like, if you're going to have him back, make it feel like the same fucking dude. But, yeah, that didn't happen. And the girl that played Supergirl, I mean, she didn't have much of an opportunity, but she was kind of, I mean, she was attractive, and she kind of put all her effort into the few punching scenes that she had. It's like, what more can you do? A lot of wasted potential. Yeah, it wasn't the same character. Yeah, so again, why bring him back then? I mean, the Michael Keaton Batman at the time, you know, it felt really serious and ominous, but he's got a very different kind of approach. He's a very distracted Bruce Wayne, you know? And it's just like, why bring him back if we're not going to make this thing feel like the same guy? What's the point? Why bother? God, who would we cast as Youngblood characters? I mean, it kind of doesn't matter on some of them. Bad Rock's irrelevant because it's all CGI. Die Hard is nothing but a costume, so it could be literally anybody. It's hard because there's no characterization in them, so it's like, this is who the character is, so this is, I think, an actor that could kind of manifest that characterization, and it's like, nah, these guys are nobody. So I don't know. It might be better if they just hire a bunch of unknowns. It's a good question. I'm never good at like casting calls. Like, who would you cast as this character? Like, oh God, I don't. Matt Damon as Shaft. Matt Damon. Jai Courtney. You're talking about Night Saber? The old Micker? They should cast Hugh Jackman as Troll and just CGI him 3 feet tall. There you go. I hate Troll. But if Hugh Jackman was there and they just shrunk his fucking ass down into a little 3 foot tall guy and I put Hugh Jackman's face on it, oh my God, perfect. Ray Dillon, yes! See, you know what's up, my dude. Oh. As far as the others, I mean, do you have both teams? Do we need to cast the away team? Or are we just doing the home team to start? So, Chapel. Use Peter Dinklage. He doesn't want to be cast as little people. It's insulting. Opening shot. The hero shot of the team walking into a smoky room with smoke all over the floor. No feet visible. See? There you go. Or they're walking through some battlefield. It's just a bunch of round rolling hills. So every shot, they're walking cut off at the ankles because of the round rolling hills. It's just kind of got them cut off. You can't see their feet. Which I do point out often, that was not a thing for Liefeld for a long time. It was like a small bit of his drawing history that he corrected very quick. But boy, do we all make sure he doesn't forget it. The Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage is already out? Is that just a streaming thing? I didn't even know that was a thing that was already made. I kept hearing them talk about it. It's on like Hulu or something, and it's probably going to bomb horribly. It's in the theater? Holy shit, am I out of touch. Yeah, that's Red Sonja. Yeah, I watched a review on that just today. I guess they made it like 3 years ago, that Red Sonja movie, and they just released it now because it's like, well, what else are we going to do with it? That's interesting. I had no idea it was in theaters. No, there's a Red Sonja movie. I read, because I know a guy who hit me up and said that they released it in theaters on a very limited basis, if I heard correctly. But it's kind of like a streaming thing, and I heard it was awful, but opinions vary. Whether you want to see them both, not just talking about her jugs. Uh-huh, me too, buddy, me too. Yeah, yeah. I was watching a review on it, and they're like, the actress didn't have much to work with, but you can tell she got in shape because she's like sweaty and oiled up, wearing the chainmail bikini at least in one part, and she looks really good. She could have bigger boobs, but you know, these are comic books we're talking about, so no one's ever gonna match that. But she looked pretty hot, but it looks terrible. But I can't really speak on it because I haven't seen it. So I do not know. Has anybody here actually seen the Red Sonja? Anybody got like an opinion on it? Todd, yes, exactly. Go away now. And already, you just lost all your nerd cred. I want you to go stand in the corner and think about what you just said. There's going to be a poor soul that thinks the Toxic Avengers is the new Avengers movie. No, seriously, Darko, like no one knew about it. It just kind of just showed up. So, see, Wesley, that's the thing. Is the comic any good? It depends, like any comic book. What era do you get, and who did you get doing it? You know, there's going to be a pile of them. You know, I just don't think there's any scenario you can say the comic of this is good. Well, it depends. When, what era, who's writing and who's drawing. Red Sonja can't be that popular. My dude, she's had a major theatrical movie. She's been in comics and literature, pop culture literature for years. She's like the girl version of Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, it's Conan the Barbarian. She's in his world. Yeah, I don't know much about Red Sonja on a like much of a level either outside of her existence, and she's always drawn to be hot. In fact, I have a pinup of her by Adam Hughes hanging on my wall. I'll show you right here. There you go. There's your red Sonja. Then I got it covered up with some Silvestri. Yeah, you just watched the trailer, Ray? Yeah, it's something. Yeah, that red Sonja, that was by Adam Hughes. And man, you never go wrong when Adam Hughes is drawing a hot girl. You know what? Actually, no. But if I'll show you, I have art up on my walls everywhere, and I've had this Sonja piece up for probably 5 years. But I printed out full 11 by 17 Mark Silvestri prints, and I've had them for like maybe a year, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna hang them up with something. Yes, Wesley, that was Beowulf. Good ear, my dude. So I just grabbed them and taped them up. So I covered up stuff I had there before. So I got that awesome X-Men shot of by Silvestri there. The Angelus Darkness there. Like maybe the best drawing of Witchblade that's ever been done there. And then one of the Psyblade She pages. I've actually got a couple more that I didn't have space, but I wanted these things hanging right in front of me next to Adam Hughes artwork. That's my own right there with the cowboy on a horse. There's an old Wizard cover that I just ripped off the magazine. That right there is from my son. He did some artwork at school and he brought it home to me. He says, "I love you, Dad." And I'm like, "What is it?" He says, "That's the symbol of your YouTube channel, the skull." I'm like, "Oh my God, that's exactly what it is." He just like created it from his head as best he could. And it's like the sweetest, cutest thing. Like, he's like, "Dad, this is for you. I love you, Dad." And it's the symbol of my my little avatar for my YouTube channel, which is just a screenshot of the Ghost Rider glow-in-the-dark cover that Mark Texera did. So anyway, I'm like, well, that shit has to hang right in front of my desk. So, my sweet boy. Psyblade She. Thanks, Jaro. I did that cowboy drawing when I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2 a couple of years ago, and I got really into the story, and I'm like, had the character look in a specific way, and had your own horse that's your own, and you have a name for it, and I'm like, you know, this is like a little miniature movie. Like, I'm not a gamer, and so, you know, I haven't experienced any kind of games where it kind of had that like cinematic feel where you're just a part of it. But that Red Dead 2 was definitely, and so I was kind of inspired. So I drew a picture of the character on the horse just to kind of like as a little memory memento for myself of the adventure that I played the one time when I did the full playthrough of that game. And so that's all that is just the silhouette of the horse and the guy on top of it, Arthur Morgan. My young son still loves that game. He'll talk about Arthur Morgan and Dutch all the time. He's like, "Dad, Dutch is a bad guy. He's always talking about he's got a plan." I'm like, "I know, son. He's a terrible guy." He's like, "I know. I'm going to play Red Dead." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, son." Yeah, Ray, you're still bummed out that Robert Rodriguez net Red Sonja. I love Robert Rodriguez, man. Not everything he makes is genius, but when he tries, he can make some awesome crap. And that would have been awesome with Rose McGowan back in the day. Yeah, yeah, that's cute about my son. He's such a good boy. Yeah, and it is a shame that Tex, I mean, he doesn't really do anything. I used to see him post up like works in progress on, I think, an Instagram page. I assume he's still out there just kind of making commissions on the side. He's not doing comic work, so he's probably big enough to like make a living off commissions, but boy, I wish he was. But he's also probably priced himself out of regular comics. He's like, no, you want me to do comics, you're going to pay me this page rate. And everyone's like, well, fuck that. There's no money in comics, so we can't afford to pay you. Yeah, Todd, exactly. The artists that, we all grew up with, I think they're just making life off commissions because they've built up enough of an audience that people will just pay. And again, they price themselves out of regular comic work because they want too much. And I get it, like, know your value. If you don't need to do it, then I guess don't do it. But it leaves us, the fans, without our favorite artists. Yeah, Ghost Rider was top notch, yep. Sometimes there's like an artist who's like the most perfect artist on the right character, and it's never been better since. And for me, Ghost Rider never looks better than when Tex did it.
I know what you're thinking. It sounds way too good to be true. It was incredibly easy to spell. It's easy in fact.
Yeah, and Silvestri finished his Batman book. Yeah. I'm always like, I want my favorite artist to just draw a comic. And Silvestri did it, and he put in a full, whole ass series and everything. But like Jim Lee, I'm like, does it have to be fucking Batman? I know Batman's like prime real estate, but ugh. But I guess he had a Batman story to tell, and he got his chance. You think we'll ever get another run out of Silvestri? I mean, he's old, right? He's got to be in his 70s or some shit, right? I feel like we've had this conversation and somebody pointed it out. Maybe he's in his 60s. But Silvestri's a little bit of an older guy. I wonder if we'll ever get another comic run out of Silvestri again, or it's kind of done. Montoya, what is up? Oh shit, is there a new Darkness book coming on with Ed Benes on it? This should have Ed Benes drawing Witchblade. Because that guy can draw some hot girls, but I feel like they're trying to not do the overly hot girl thing, which is stupid. Montoya, you're kind of the only guy who would recognize it. I've just wanted to draw the characters ever since I read the book. So I'm just kind of doing it and then going to throw it at Mitch just cuz it's not a request or an ask. I just wanted to do it. So I know I'm publicly live streaming this, so when I ask if you'd kind of like not tell him until I get it done, I'd kind of like to show him when it's finished. Um, I know that's weird to say that I'm doing this live, but yeah, but you're the only one that probably noticed. But these are his characters. Ever since the review, ever since I read that book, I'm like, I want to draw these characters. So here we are. Again, he might catch it anyway. Like, I'm not even going to post it until I kind of finish it. Um, but I'm not joking when I say I want to support that guy's book. I want to see it successful because, like, I 100% believe in it. Like, I want to see it be successful. So I'm like, I'll help you push the shit out of it, dude. Does anybody sort of vaguely recognize the generic layout? Like, it's kind of a sort of like a specific Image Comics cover. Anybody kind of recognize it? You're right, Todd. Floating Head's got to be a Liefeld cover, right? Jaro knows what's up. Yeah, sort of like the cover to Brigade #1 where Battlestone's standing there and surrounded by the heads of all the other. At first I was just going to draw the hot girl, but I'm like, well, I could put the heads around it, and it's sort of a Liefeld homage-ish thing-ish, since his book is very much the best version of Youngblood ever made. I could show it right quick. There we go. That one right there. Classic.
When it comes to back-to-school shopping at Target, we believe the best choice is all of the above. From first-day butterflies to last-day high fives, and every day in between. At prices that will definitely make your day. For all of the above, it's back-to-school at Target.
feet covered by a pitcher's mound. Yeah, classic. Commercials on a YouTube stream. Well, I'm just listening to music from YouTube separately. Boy, I hate commercials. That being said, as a guy who gets monetized on his own channel, I guess I can't hate him because that's where the ad revenue comes from, so I can't be too mad at it. You know, also, reading Mitch's book and seeing his art, I suddenly realized that I am no good at drawing like goofy, like fun, like kind of cartoony expressions. A character looking like apprehensive or nervous or I can do the basics of like smiling or gritting their teeth or stoic and flat, but making like quirky expressions on faces, holy Lord, am I behind. Because Mitch excels at that shit in his book. He made that stuff look so good. I was like, I could never make a character look that expressive, so I need to learn. My characters all have resting bitch face, right? It's tricky, isn't it? All you need are grimaces or yelling, even if they're knocked out. Right? Yeah, Ray, you're good at it, man. You know how to do that stuff. I've seen your stuff. You kind of handle that stuff really well, right? We're supposed to give them expressions? Wait, when did that become a... No one ever taught me that. I thought comics was just like hot girls and buff dudes and monsters and shit. I didn't have to draw anybody feeling like emotions or feelings. That's some bullshit. Yeah, Ray, you've had some good growth doing your own books. Yeah. Everyone's getting Bane mask, right? There you go. If you can't draw expressions, full face mask. Makes perfect sense to me. Montoya, I think I saw him. He had um, a colored version of his cover. Yeah. Oh shit. Yes, Homework Glitch. You actually just missed this by just a little bit, where I kind of asked if anybody could recognize it. But yeah, I saw this coloring job done up. Um, really cool. You know, it's one of the most brilliant things Mitch ever did, and I think I mentioned it somewhere, and he commented. In fact, I did it right here on this image. But like, he's drawing this new cover, and he made the barrel of the gun look like a skull. And I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. No one's ever done that before, to my knowledge. And I think he said, here, let me pull it up. Yeah, he says, I know, right? If you check out the live stream, you can hear the chuckle when I realize what it's starting to look like. So it's like, he says he just kind of found it in the moment. And that's hilarious. The barrel of the gun is a frickin' skull. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all, and it doesn't need to. It's badass as hell. I love it. It's like, and again, what he was saying is he just kind of stumbled upon it while he was drawing it. What like a great little happy accident. Right, Ray? That skull gun? It's like, uh, it's perfect because the character's kind of like I mean, he's every grim and gritty character ever written, but he's kind of like a Punisher character, except way more intense. Ray, I don't know if you saw the video I did where I talk about the comic book, but there's a scene in issue 2 with this character and the aliens that kidnap him. It's like one of the greatest scenes in any comic I've ever read. It's just Blood Force Mitch. If you could see it right there. He says, making comics full of face punch. I'm like, I'm sold. I mean, even as like Sin City-ish kind of homage to this character here, like that is some badass shit. Like Mitch makes me feel like I gotta work a lot harder. Like he's writing genius comics and he's doing some incredible artwork. I'm like, God damn, I gotta step my game up. Or this shot, this panel from his book, where the guy's shooting the gun with the big like Jay Lee or Stephen Platt like splatter barrel muzzle flash. That shit looks so cool. Thanks for hanging out, Wesley. Appreciate it as always. Damn, that's awesome. Love this image he did. Like, isn't this just like old school image artwork, except like way more awesome in a lot of ways? Like, look at that shit. That arm flexing, the face, and that upshot of the face. Like, he nailed the shit out of that. And then all the like the overdone anatomy, it's so perfect. God, the way I talk, you think Mitch would be like paying me. Like, I'm like, no, I just legitimately believe in his work, dude. He's so good. Yeah, the character who just loves to loom over cities looking for vengeance. Well, like I was talking about in the first issue, or the second, he's all about finding the mugger, because he's all about stopping muggers, right? Like traditional, you know, shit that criminals do to the unsuspecting good citizens of the city. So he's trying to stop the muggers, but he's like looking for the great evil mugger horde so he could find Mugger's Central Command. I'm like, oh my, it's so fucking ridiculously awesome. It's so funny. Yeah, Ray, dude, that spaceship, that's another thing. You know what? I'm just going to show it. I told him that that goddamn spaceship that he designed and the way he drew it is like one of the coolest looking jets I've ever seen. I can't remember if it was issue 1 or 2. I'm going to say it's probably in... Well, here's one. There's one image of it. Like, look at that awesome jet right there. That thing looks so cool. I think it's in issue 1 is that really, really awesome first shot of it. Let me find it. There we go. Let me turn this shit sideways. Like, check out that vehicle right there. Like, Ray, you were talking about. Look at that thing. Like, I love that thing so much. What a pain in the ass it would be to draw. But holy crap, is that awesome. Yeah, does he have turnarounds for this jet? You'd have to hand it off to somebody else to draw. It looks awesome. I think there's one more shot of it in the book here. Yeah. That forward shot of it coming towards us. Big time awesome. Yeah, Ray, he's starting to put together the thoughts of a crowdfunder, from what I understand, and so he's going to try and make it available depending on how it goes. I don't know if he has the entire thing available on his Patreon, but it is so damn entertaining. Yeah, consistent in every shot. Yeah. Super badass. Well, I think I've taken this initial sketch as far as I'm going to go. And I don't have the energy to start light boxing it, so that'll be like a tomorrow thing. But I think I'm done for the night. But yeah, this has been fun. Enjoyed everyone that's hung out. Go away now, right? That's all I've got for now. Go away now. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate it as always. I'll catch y'all later. 4 more hours. I wish I had Mitch's endurance to go 4 hours. That's crazy. All right, guys. Jaro, Montoya, Glitch, Todd, Ray. If I'm repeating names. See you later. Thanks, Ray.